Those who are joining us in the virtual world, we're going to start tonight with a song on page 10 of our prayer books. Ma Yafeh Hayom, how beautiful today is. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Before we light candles tonight, a reminder that, this is our last evening service during the Omer. So on page 278 in your prayer books, we join together in the blessing for the Omer, the preparatory days leading up to Shavuot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom arba'im v'chamesh yom shehem shesh shavuot v'shalosh yamim la'omer. Today is the 45th day of the counting of the Omer, which maps out to 6 weeks and 3 days. And so the Omer will be concluded on Tuesday evening this week with the festival of Shavuot. A reminder that on Wednesday the 12th, we have a morning service for Shavuot Yizkor. So 10:30 on June 12th. And I hope that your days are spent in the week ahead preparing yourself for the greatest gift of the world, which is Torah. So let's turn back in our prayer books now to page 7. Page 7, and let's read together. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Help me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat abide. And to start our Shabbat, let's turn now to page 2 and 3 for candles. Crystal, you want to help me with the candles? So, remember how to do the lighter? Okay. So you push with your thumb and pull with your finger. There you go. Okay, good. Good. 1, 2, up. Let's do this. Sometimes the wind. Huh?
I'll just.
Let's burn a little bit more of the wax. Ah, there we go. Ready? 1, 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. So on page 3, let's read together. At the top, as these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who have kindled light. And now, I'll do this one. We light our candle for Israel. And hope and pray for a speedy end to the war. Let's turn in the back of our prayer books to page 374 and rise as able for Hatikvah. Please rise. Page 374. Kol od balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ufate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liyotam chofshi be'artzenu eretz Zion Yerushalayim liyotam chofshi be'artzenu eretz Zion Yerushalayim. Thank you. You may be seated. So let's turn now in our prayer books to page 24. Page 24, as we welcome Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Boahem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Barhuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitkhem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's get up and let's walk around and meet someone new and greet someone you haven't seen in a while and wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. Crystal, you want to do some prayers tonight? You want to do some prayers? What's that? You want to grab your prayer book and come back up here. Well, let's continue now on page 26 with Hatzi Kaddish. Crystal's going to help me out a bit.
Just gotta find the page.
Yit Gadav, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bi'alama Devra, Hirte, V'amlich Malchute, B'chayechon, Uvyomechon, Uvchayedecha Beit Yisrael, Bahagala, Bahagala, Uvizman Kariv, Vimaru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'alam al me'almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudasha, Richu, Le'ela min kol birhata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alama, v'maru, amen. We continue with Baruch Hu. Please rise.
I didn't think I would do that well.
You did fine. Turn around. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma pateach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshana itim, umahalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtsono. Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech, v'hoshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tziva'ot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamidim loch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv aravim. On page 32 at the bottom. Let's read together. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. Ve'ahavtaha et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'vetecha uvlachtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uktavtam amazuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kadoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem Emet. The top of page 39. Together, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Let's continue on page 40, Mi Chamocha. Mi kamocha ba'elem Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osefele, nora tehilot, osefele, malchutecha, Rauvanecha, Bokei Ayam, Lifnei Moshe Miriam, Zeli Anu Ve'ameru, Adonai Yimloch, Adonai Yimloch, Le'olam Va'ed, V'nehemar, Kifad Adonai et Yaakov, Ugialo me'arazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Let's continue now on page 42 at the bottom. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Let us continue now on page 46 as we rise as able for tefillah. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fia gitihilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gula, Livnei v'Nehem, Laman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol atah, Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal. Mechalkel Chaim b'chesed, Mechayei HaKol b'rahamim rabim. Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar. Micha mocha Baal Gevurot, Umido melech, Melech meimit u'mechaye, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. On page 52, in the English, in the middle of the page, you are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Amen. You may be seated. Let's continue on page 54 at the bottom of the page together. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot. Grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant us the holy Shabbat, that Israel who sanctifies your name. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. Let's continue on page 57. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, Ba'amcha Yisrael, Utfilatam B'hava Tekabel, Udhil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. On page 59 at the top. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'el lehodot. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon L'chol ha-shalom, ki ata hu melech Adon, l'chol ha-shalom. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael amacha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael amacha, tasim leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et amacha Yisrael bechol et v'chol sha'a bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amacha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amacha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Let's take a few moments now for our own private prayer. Please turn to your own words. Oseh shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'ala kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. We now turn our thoughts to the people in our community who are struggling with illness. We hope and pray that our collective thoughts at this time will lighten their load in the week ahead and remind them that they are part of our heart every week. Mishaberach Avatenu V'imotenu Avram Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yivarech et HaCholim Malena Barsina Villalobos, Joan Adler, Bill Ellis, Amber Gracia, Michelle Danmiller, Steve Baumel, Aaron Kugler, Alan Levin, Karen Ellis, Emily Elkins, Liz Wilkes, Monroe Zeffert, and Judith Levy. And if you have names you would like to add to our list of healing, please call them out.
Becca Rushworth, Jackie Stewart, Autumn Stewart.
Laura Peters. Michael Allen Moore, Eric
May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are ill. May the Holy and Blessed One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be renewed. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us all say, Amen. So this Shabbat, we begin a new book of the Torah. It begins with the most utilitarian, ordinary, call it profane, event. Moses counted the people to prepare them to defend themselves in the wilderness and eventually conquer the land. We might ask, why the Israelites needed an army. They had God on their side. The Torah teaches, Adonai yilachem lachem. God will fight for you. Why do the people need to worry about such ordinary pursuits as counting and procuring an army if God is fighting our battles for us? Well, the 19th century German Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch says, the counting was a reminder that they still lived in the ordinary world of reality, the world as it is. And for the past couple of months, you see, we've been reading the book of Leviticus. People weren't traveling. The narrative kind of just paused. It's as if we were sitting in a classroom and studying the ideal world of holiness. We learned about purity, sacrificial offerings, the sanctity of space and time, but that was like a frictionless environment, an idealized lab version of how the world should be. Now, says Hirsch, the fourth book comes back to stark reality and shows us the actual relationship between the actual nation and this ideal of our calling in the third book. Accordingly, it begins by having the individual members of the nation counted, to emphasize that the United Nation is no mere vague conception, but exists in this universal calling of its members, and that the national mission reckons on the faithfulness to duty and conscious devotion to the common calling of each individual. The classroom is great. I love the classroom. It's wonderful to learn in a space where everything works. Good is good, evil is evil. But the actual world is a lot more complicated than that. In the wilderness, there is war. complaining, misunderstanding, uncertainty. In the real world, you have to stand up and be counted. You have to be prepared to defend yourself. The end of this portion describes how the tabernacle was dismantled each time the Israelites traveled. The clan of Kehat would carry the sacred vessels, but not before they were prepared and wrapped by Aaron and his sons. The ark, the table of display, the menorah, the altar, each sacred vessel had to be covered with a special blue cloth. The Kehathites were not allowed to see the objects as they were being carried. Again, Rabbi Hirsch. The effect of this prohibition would be that the holy objects remain to their bearers as symbolic objects, subjects of the mind, for thoughts, not so much as tangible objects. In other words, when the vessels were set up in the tabernacle, they were special. The space was holy. But when they were dismantled, they were just stuff, ordinary, things that get dirty. The Kehathites weren't supposed to see the ordinary aspects of the temple vessels. They only wanted to see them in their holiest state, with all the grandeur. They weren't supposed to see how the sausage was made. Yesterday marked the 80th anniversary of D-Day. My great-uncle Haskell was one of those men on Omaha Beach 80 years ago. He didn't make it to this anniversary, but he did return there for the 50th anniversary in 1994. He never talked about what happened at that time until after he stood on that beach in 1994. It was a soul-shattering memory for him that he pushed deep into his psyche. He was a man who had to witness how the sausage of freedom is made. He saw all that went into making sure that his children and their future families could live in a world that celebrated freedom. I think often of the men and women who put community above self, who elevate the needs of the many over the needs of the one, who I watched the broadcast yesterday with pride in the faces of the men and women who sacrificed much, sometimes all, for each and every one of us here tonight. And they were just teenagers, 18, 19, 20 years old, most of whom were away from home for the first time in their lives, standing tall against evil and making their lives count. I saw a report on the women of World War II. Because the world wars were total wars which required governments to utilize their entire populations to defeat their enemies. Millions of women were encouraged to work in the industry and take over jobs previously done by men. During World War I, women across the United States were employed in jobs previously done by men. World War II was similar to World War I in that the massive conscription of men led to a shortage of workers and therefore a demand for that labor, which could be filled only by the women of the time. Nearly 19 million women held jobs during World War II. Many of these women were already working in lower-paying jobs or were returning to the workforce after being laid off during the Depression. Women responded to the call of the need of the country by stepping up to fill positions that were traditionally filled by the men. They began to work heavy construction machinery, taking roles in lumber and steel mills, as well as physical labor, including unloading freight, building airships, making weapons, much more. Whether in wartime service or in heavy production, these women played their role. They made their lives count. Isn't that the question this Shabbat? Are you making your life count? Certainly, we're all seeking to pave the way for our families. We have kids or grandkids. We want them to have opportunities that we may not have had. But there's a larger question that Torah and these incredible men and women have asked. What are you doing for your community, your faith, your freedom? These are the rhetorical questions that now that the summer months are here and the sun is shining, how will you answer that question? As your rabbi, what are you doing to advance your community? Have you filled out your community commitment form already? Have you said yes or hineni to a committee? Are you showing up for programs and social times for families? Most importantly, for each other. There are so many questions I can go through, but it all boils down to the answers that only we can provide. The real test of counting is when you walk out of the walls of this sacred space, away from these holy moments, and you place yourself in the reality of the day, in the midst of the cacophony of life in which we live. Are you making your mark in the world? Such are the many challenges that are brought by the Torah this Shabbat. I don't usually write sermons that have no answers, but definitely this Shabbat, there are more questions than answers for sure. And the answer is in your hands. Shabbat Shalom. David?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Hope you're all doing well, and for our folks at home, hey. Let's talk about what we have coming up this coming week. Please join Rabbi Lipper tomorrow morning for Shabbat study and worship beginning at 9 a.m. here at Temple. We are exploring duties of the heart, and we'll read from the opening parish of Numbers. Here's what I'm really excited about. So Susan Hertz is throwing together, normally it's Temple Sinai night out. Well, she's doing it morning-ish. We're doing a brunch this coming Sunday. It's going to be at Churrasco's. Myself and First Lady Erica love churrascos, so we will definitely be there. So it's 11 a.m. tomorrow. The brunch buffet is going to be Sunday. It's 11 a.m. Look in the weekly email for more details, including about the cost. Wednesday, June 12th, 10:30 a.m., join our Temple Sinai community for our Shavuot Yitzhor service. We will remember all of those who have died since Yom Kippur and honor their memories. Next Shabbat, June 14th, will be an early Shabbat service starting at 6 p.m. Please come for worship and Kiddush. Make plans with your friends and family to have Shabbat dinner after the service together. Thank you, everyone.
I want to thank Sandra Rushworth, who is sponsored the Oneg this evening in memory of her mother, Adele. And we thank you for doing that. Let us turn now in our prayer books to page 283 as we rise together for Aleinu. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה וקראו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבת אל לבבך. הוא אדוני, הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. You may be seated. At this sacred time, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, the martyrs of our people, whose graves are unmarked, those of every race, every nation and faith, whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. We continue with reading number 7, page 291. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. This week we remember especially those who perished on the beaches of Normandy 80 years ago. In our community, we mark the yard sites for Cheryl Fishman, sister of Debbie Simon, William Rich, the father of Harvey Rich, Marty Berman, the brother of Sue Abramson, and Adele Weil, the mother of Sandra Rushworth. And this week as well, we mark the Shiva for Helene Kramer. May her memory be a blessing. Together we say Zichronam Livracha. May all their memories be a blessing. As we turn to page 294 and stand as a community for Kaddish. Yet Gadal v'yet Kadash Shemei Rabbah B'yalama Devarach Yirute v'yamlech Malchute B'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imaru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach le'olam olamei olamaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach Yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Dekud Shabrichu La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tush b'chata v'nehemata Damiran bi'alama v'imaru Amen. Yehei Shalom Rabba min Shemaya V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromav Hu ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort to all who are bereaved among us. And let us all say Amen. Let's continue or close our service with Hine Matov. Page 10. Hine Matov umanayim shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet ahim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.